Alrighty, hey traders, welcome to today's market update. Whoa, that looks really loud. Welcome to today's market update, guys. We're going to be looking at the stock market. We're going to be looking at a lot of things because there's a lot of things going on right now in the markets that we really want to be taking notice of. I want to look at the small picture, what's happening right now, what we could expect over the short term, but also why this pullback, what we're expecting right now, is going to be a gift. It's going to be a gift for people who are calm and also watching for what is going on in the markets. Also, I'm going to be sharing with you one indicator that says that, you know what, we could be getting ready for a good buy the dip situation. So let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, so let's have a look at what's happening right now in the stock market. For the last couple of days, I've been talking about how the markets have been creating a bit of a flattening out period, a bit of a sort of a rounding top period, potentially a head and shoulder formation. And this is one thing I really want to stress home enough that right now we're seeing a freak out in the markets because of a lot of things that's happening right now. Okay, we're just finished. We're getting in towards the end of September. We're going to get into what the old pit traders are. Probably about 15 years ago, I got some awesome training from a pit trader who actually used to do the trading in the pits, and he was saying that they used to call it Rocktober. So Rocktober is coming. But here's the thing that I'm looking at right now. As we can see on the charts, we can see that I've been talking about for the last few months. I've been talking about how we've had this lower low here. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. So we've had this low, and we've had this lower low. Now we're getting this lower high and a bit of a gap down and a solid down bar on the S&P 500. So that's actually danger for the markets, right? Because not only is the market the trend is your friend until the end, right? And I know I'll talk a lot about the slingshot pattern. The trend is your friend until the end, that's true. But the end of the trend can also result in a V bottom action, which is like an end of the trend, right? So that's where a lot of people said, "Oh, John, but didn't you say the trend is your friend until the end?" Exactly, right? But sometimes we can get this V bottom, which generally most of the time is creating that slingshot move I talked about in the last few videos. When we start to see that, that's when we can start to see the move actually moving higher. Makes sense? So one thing we're looking at here is we're looking at a lower high now, and now we're getting a little gap down and a solid down bar on the S&P. So what does that mean for the market to come, and what's going on right now? So we can see the market's rolling over, and so I would expect to see this market to continue down now on the short term. Remember I said before at the start, right? I want to see this on the absolute short term, on a pullback, but for those, and I want you to stay calm, okay? I don't want you to freak out, and please don't get so tied into the media that's going to come along with what is happening today and what's likely to happen over the next maybe week or so. Because the media is always on the wrong side of the markets. Let me explain what I mean here. If a big bull market is happening, what is the media saying at the tops of these markets? Oh my goodness, 30 straight days made new high and all these sort of things, right? Like, oh my goodness, and the Dow did this, or the Nasdaq did this, or the S&P did this, right? And as in like how good this is, right? And you're seeing all these people making so much money. That's what the media, that's what the talking heads are going to start to say out there in the markets. One thing we really want to be careful of is obviously what they're saying. Right now, there's going to be a lot of negative bearish tone, and we're probably going to continue to see a bit more of a selling period here. But right now, we're not at the top of the markets, okay? We're going to see a correction. A correction is not the top of the markets. We're going to see a correction, and then guess what? Suddenly out of nowhere, they're going to get the infrastructure package passed. They're going to get the next QE, stimulus package passed. Guess what? And what happens every single time we get a QE package? Like, if this $3.5 trillion gets passed, guess what? A reflation happens again. So right now on the short term, I'm seeing on the S&P 500, we're down here. The next major support level is down here around about that sort of 4,200. And so sort of that 4,200 level there. So it does look like we're probably likely to see at least a move down there. We're not going to see a whole. And I know these talking heads out there are gonna make it sound like, oh my goodness, it's going to drop. One of the hardest things about being involved in markets, right? And me as a trader, I'm in these markets every day. I'm trading these markets every day. Or one of the hard things that I used to have problems with is that, okay, if everyone's saying the same thing, they all can't be wrong. Which, if you go through experiences, if everyone's saying the same thing, they're probably going to be wrong, especially when it comes to the stock market. And what I mean by that is like when most people are absolute at their most fearful in the markets and the market's tanking, isn't that in history, we know, right? That's the perfect opportunity to buy the markets and hold it for a good 1 to 2 years. Look what happened last year when the good old Rona situation, right? So we can see that in the markets there. So right now, short-term pullback, yes, but it's not going to be long-lived. It may last another few days, may last another week or two. But we're going to get a massive reinflation, and I believe the third or the fourth quarter coming into this fourth quarter happening moving forward is probably likely to be really, really, really good. So short-term, yes, we're probably likely to get a continuation of this pullback through here. Looking at the Dow Jones, we can see we've had a very, very nice little down day, but the Dow Jones is still, the Dow Jones is really stuck in a bit of a long-term support level. If I squeeze my charts up here, we're getting a lower low and potentially a lower high on the Dow Jones, but we're not really getting across below these. Here's these two major support levels here. So once the Dow crosses below this sort of 34,000 level, then that's when we're probably likely to start to see a bit of a free fall. And my next major support level is down this. If I squeeze my charts up, see how we've got this major long-term support level coming through here, and you can see there's lots of bounces. So if the Dow Jones does break the 34, we're probably likely to make our way back down to probably around the 32, maybe a bit lower than that. But I believe if that does happen, that's going to create a massive buying opportunity, and we're likely to see a V move back to the upside, just like we saw back here in the Rona situation, right? We had the big drop down, and then there's going to be another stimulus package passed, right? We know there's going to be more printing. I mean, they're not going to stop printing money. They're not going to magically say, you know what? No, we're going to stop printing money. They're going to raise the debt ceiling. We know that. There's going to be right? There's going to be all this bickering and oh no, oh yes, oh no, oh yes, oh no, and then they're going to be oh yes, and they raise the debt ceiling, right? There's going to be bickering, and then they're going to raise it. And then suddenly, guess what? Then there's going to be another stimulus package being passed. There's going to be checks sent out. The hard infrastructure is going to get done. And then guess what? And remember, think about this, guys. Okay, think about this for a minute here. Okay, in history, from 2008 through right now, what has happened to the stock market every time we've got a massive stimulus package passed? From 2008 to even last year, what has happened? So think about that for a minute. If we continue down to have a pullback here, which is only just a correction, if we do end up pulling back towards my long-term support level here, from the high down to the low, that's only about a 10 to 12% correction. That's actually in line. If that happens, guess what? Then we're probably going to get the stimulus package passed. They're going to put more money into the system. They're not going to taper off. And then the reflation is going to happen. They haven't started putting the brakes on. Right now we're getting a short-term shake and bake, right? Short-term shake and bake, which is September. And then also leading into October. But you watch, guys. You watch. Come towards the middle to the end of October. November and December are going to be crazy, crazy, crazy bull moves to the upside. From now to then, October is going to be very wobbly, I believe. But then we're going to see this crazy move because by then we would have had another stimulus package passed. They're not tapering right now. They're not even starting to put the interest rates up, which is putting a brake on the system. So this pullback here is going to be a really big gift. And just like last year with my private clients, when the whole Corona situation was happening, the whole vid situation, when we got the pullback, And when that pullback was happening, I knew that we're really getting at a good time to buy the markets, but buy and hold for the next 6 to 12 months. I had at least a 12-month view, right? So if I was buying it and if I go back to obviously looking at my Dow Jones, you can see back through here, back through March. So what I did is I bought a January this year option in S&P, in Apple, and a few other stocks as well too, right? And so I held them for a good amount of time, and I did really, really well from that. One of the best indicators that I was looking at to say, okay, when are we getting it? Because if we have a look at this, let me just share this with you. One thing that happens in if you think about one thing I talked about at the start of this video was the herd mentality and listening to that and making an objective decision based on that and thinking about where we are, when it comes to the good old. Let me just bring this up to here for a minute. I'm gonna bring up let me just share this with you because I think this is going to really. Where is that? Just looking at this right now. Right, so let me actually bring this up through the here. Let me actually bring. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So let me bring this up here. I want to share something with you, okay? Because this is where something really important is happening right now in the markets, and it's important to understand where are we in the market cycle of things, so we can get a much more non-emotional view of what is happening in the markets, so we can make non-emotional decisions, which is going to benefit us from now through the end of the year and moving into next year. Because the last thing we want to do is trade based on FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So if you're trying to short the market right now, thinking we're gonna get another complete collapse, you may be right. There's a high probability that we're not there yet. Okay, we're not at that euphoria stage yet. So think about the noises, right? Think about the herd mentality that is happening in the markets right now, and think about where we're going with this. Okay, so we can see here. Look at this in the actual market cycles and where we are. If you think, actually, I don't want to use that one. Actually, I just took a screenshot from the Google from the Google images. So there we go. All right. But you can see here. Look at this where we are. Okay. So right now we're in. Actually, you know what? Let's actually use Bitcoin as an example here, right? Because Bitcoin's a really good example of herd mentality and what was going on. If we actually think about Bitcoin, when we looked at Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was passing 60,000 and it went to 65,000, as it was getting to 58, 59, 60, 61, what was the articles, the news media, the YouTube videos, what was the herd mentality saying? Were they saying, oh my goodness, this is the end, you should be out right now, this is going to collapse? Or was the herd mentality, were they saying, I'm going to buy more on margin, oh my goodness, I'm going to get rich? What were they saying? I know for myself that when we passed 60,000, I had my lady friend at the gym. She's like, I've just got into crypto, is it a good time to get out? And just made like 70% return in like 3 weeks, right? It's like, and so then I had my gym friend. He's just like, oh my goodness, I made all this money. I had a network marketing friend as well too, who had nothing to do with the markets. And he said, well, you should be a Bitcoin because you know it's only going to go up, right? All this noises. And then you hear these people making millions of dollars from the crypto market and so on and so forth. So this is the noise, right? That's that herd mentality, the voices. This has been a good investor in the markets and listening and making the decisions based on the other side, which is always hard because most people the reason why they can't do well at investing is because they have a hard time going against everyone because they think, especially if they're new to the markets, well, everyone can't be wrong. Well, yes, that's the point of the markets, right? Most people are wrong. Most people lose money. And so therefore, you've got to understand the market cycle of things. And so again, we can see here, where we see that's what happened with Bitcoin. And guess where Bitcoins probably are right now, right? We had the drop down through here, the big drop, and then we had the little rally through here, and now we're actually starting to do this right now in Bitcoin. But I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to crash or whatever, right? But I'm just saying, right, where we are with Bitcoin, that's where I believe we are, right? From the herd mentality out there. Now, let's look at this here for a minute. When it comes to the stock market, right, and we're talking about the broad-based stock market. I'm not talking about individual stocks, but when it comes to the individual stock market, what are we hearing right now? Oh, this is the time to get in. Oh my goodness, you're not in the stock market, you're an idiot. Oh my goodness, I'm making so much money from being involved in the stock market. Are we hearing that? Or are we hearing what? Why are you in the market for? Why are you in the stock market for? It's going to crash. It's at the top, blah, 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 right? This whole, I call them bumblebees. Blah, 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 blah. They just go crazy, right? Right? Are they saying that? What are most people saying? What are the headlines saying right now? They're saying what? The top's in, shaky September, which yes has been a bit of an up and down September, but we haven't had a big crash, Prior to September, what were they saying? Prior to September, they were saying, oh my goodness, September's going to be a bad month for us. Was it? Nah, right? So we have to look at this market from an as-is perspective. And if we're a trader, well, then we should have some sort of a trading system. And you should be following a trading system, basically a trading pattern if you're a trader, right? If you're an investor and you're looking for a good buying opportunity, like buy the dip means to me, and all in good investors, if you look at the market cycles over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, is the best time to buy is when there's maximum negativity in the market, right? And so right now, when we're looking at the markets, I don't even see an optimism. If I'm looking at the markets here, I don't even see an optimism. Okay, let's try that again. Take 3, right? I don't even see a real optimism in the markets right now. I don't know, guys. You let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Where are we right now when it comes to the stock market? Not silver and gold, right? Silver and gold right now, I believe we're getting towards the end of the move. That's silver and gold. But when it comes to the stock market, S&P, Nasdaq, these sort of markets, where do you think we are? What is the herd mentality saying right now? All I'm hearing about is how the top's in. The thing is that the top's never in if everyone's saying the top is in, right? And that's what we're seeing through there. We could, and so I believe we're not even there. We're in maybe disbelief, because if I go over here, right, if I look at this from a market cycle perspective, what I'm seeing right now is this. We've seen this move from there to there, and now we're getting a pullback, which is this point through here. So maybe we're at disbelief, because that's all I'm hearing about is the top's in and the market's going to crash and this is it and all this sort of stuff, right? And your mate Harry Dent, right? If you guys watch Harry Dent, your mate Harry Dent, it's like he was. Oh, I won't go there. All right, take 2 with that thing anyway. So we're not even getting hope. Like, I'm not even getting any optimism about the markets. Okay, guys, let me know what you think. Because I'm a trader, but I'm also an investor. I trade the markets. I have an amazing trading pattern that works most of the time. I tell you right now, guys, for my trading, for my what I call cash flow generator trades, when my perfect setup sets up, oh my goodness, massive probability that's gonna be a successful trade for me. Massive probability. I love trading those things, right? But then I also have a basket, right, of trades or positions that I buy and hold for a period of time. So I'm in positions right now. I'm in 3 positions right now, where I'm buying and holding to the end of the year. That's my time frame of where I see things going overall. A little bit of shake and bake in the middle, right? Shake and bake right now. But where things are going overall. And one of them is actually what I talked about yesterday, right? One of them actually is the energy sector. You guys know, right? I talked about this, a month ago, but I'm in Oxy right now. Is the stock that I'm in when it comes to, if I bring up my Oxy trade, OXY, right? I'm in Oxy right now, and I got in as Oxy was crossing above. And you guys know this, right? If you guys are following me back then, as it started to cross above back here, we got the flush down, we got the flush move back up. As we did that, I saw this being the end of this move, the V bottom situation happening. So therefore, I took a position, and the position was either I'm going to have a small stop loss real fast, because if we did that, then I'd be wrong and I needed to get out for a small loss, or I'd be right and I'd see this be a $40 or $50 stock by the end of this year. Who knows what's going to happen, right? But so far, my options are doing quite amazing right now when it comes to that, right? And again, I'm just looking at from that. That's what I'm talking about there, guys. Is just my overall investing positions. But where we are right now in the stock market, when I'm seeing this be a disbelief right now. So be ready for the talking heads, but please look at the market from a non-emotional. Don't get emotionally charged by this sort of stuff happening, because right now there's massive amounts of wealth that are going to be created if we can just sit back, look at the way the market works, how the cycles really work, and what are the voices, the herd mentality. What do we generally hear at bottoms of markets, and what do we hear at tops of markets? And ask yourself, whatever market you're looking at, from a crypto, from the metals and miners, to even maybe the stock market, where are we right now in those things, and where are we likely to go to? Because that's where things are happening right now. And so once again, guys, all I hear is disbelief, like not even a hope. I'm not even getting hope here anymore. It's like, this rally will fail like others. Exactly, that's exactly what I was just thinking just then. Like this is not going to last, right? Just like this here. So even though we've made a massive move up, we're getting a pullback, right? Which is probably this bit here, which is this bit right here, and then away we go again. So when that, right now again, guys, we're not even hearing it. We're not even here at the tops of the market. So the purpose of me saying this is we're probably likely to see, if we do see that 5 or that, well, actually we've done 5. If we do see a 10+% correction, then keep in mind what you're going to hear out there in the marketplace and what's likely to happen. But fortunes will be made on the dip because of where we are right now. And so I hope this really helps you out with what's going on right now, and what is happening. And the last thing I really want to talk to you about in today's update is I really want to talk to you about your particular trading, and please keep your ego out of it, right? So I'll give you an example. I'm in some trades right now, and I got out of a trade today for a loss, right? It was in a small profit. I let it go because I like to let my profits run, see what else it's got. But then I also like to get out early when it's not working. And so I'm in trades right now that are really successful, right? I'm in Oxy, I'm in some other trades that are just doing really well for me. I'm letting my profits run. But there's one trade there that wasn't really doing much for a period of time, and then it went against me today, and so therefore I got out of a 10% loss. Now that 10% loss is from 5% of my account, right? So you think about it, what is that, 0.5%? Maybe 0.5% risk loss of my account. But think about this for a minute, okay? A lot of traders, where they go wrong is they have this ego of they need to be right every single trade. They simply just cannot take a loss. That's one of the biggest things out there that's going to cause you to do really well. 2 things. It's the trades you don't take that are going to make you successful. And it's also the ability to recognize and throw your ego out the window to say, you know what? This trade is no longer working in the direction I wanted to see. It's clearly given me an exit signal now. I need to be out. I need to cut my losses. So therefore, mine was just over a 10% loss. So I got out, I think it was about a 13% loss. So I got like 85% of my money back. I took the small loss, and then guess what? That's nothing, right? Because the very next beautiful trade I get into, 50% profit, 80% profit, maybe a lot more. So I hope you can see, like, that was a 13% loss, but I'm in a couple of trades right now. One's at like a 60% profit. The other one's like an 80% profit. So they're my trades that are still going right now. So your ability as a trader is going to come down to your ability to recognize that when a trade is not working for you, you need to be out. And so I have set criteria when I get into a trade. I have what I call my no story exit rule. And I have something on the charts that I look at when I'm using it. It could be like a trend line, it could be a moving average, whatever you want to use, right? Of saying that I need to be out of this position now, no matter what my ego is telling me. And so I strongly recommend, if you're getting into positions for a trading opportunity, to, as soon as you get into it, you say, okay, cool, this is where I think this is going, and this is where I would like to see this going. But if it doesn't do this, if it doesn't do that, and it goes for a nice profit, and it does go against the trade, this here is my no story exit rule. Meaning, if it does this, I need to be out no matter what rational reason I'm going to come up with. Makes sense? So I hope this helps you out today, guys. If you like this sort of trading, then make sure you grab my trading course below. Only $7 today, guys. And I promise you're going to love it. You know what, guys? It's $7. But if you're not happy with it, just let me know. I'll refund you and I'll let you keep the trading course for free. There's about 10 videos in there. And if you're struggling with the trading right now, the first few videos are for you. If you're looking to learn how to read the markets, probably from a trading perspective, chart reading strategies, then the second phase is for you. If you're looking to learn some really good trading systems and also mindset, then the next phases are for you. But there's about 10 videos in there. Again, $7 today, guys. Very first thing in the description. Go get that right now. And remember, where are we right now? My question to you guys is, in the stock market only, where are we in this market cycle of things?